you're out there on the pad getting through the final moments of countdown. And we had expected to launch about 8 o'clock in the morning. Unfortunately, it was one of those mornings in Florida where with the change in the sun was coming up, convection heating and all that, fog rolled in, and we ended up being delayed. So we sat there on the launch pad, or really laid there on the launch pad, and we basically lying on your backs for a total of almost 6 hours waiting for the launch. In fact, we were coming very close to a violation of the medical procedures because they didn't want you on your back for a much longer period of time. They called us about 15 minutes before we were going to close the window. They said, we think the fog's due to clear here. Do you mind holding another 15 minutes? 8 years, 15 minutes. Yeah, I can do that. So we said we could do that. But I'll tell you what, after 6 hours in that position, a couple of different things I could tell you where every crease and wrinkle was on the backside of it. Remember that second cup of coffee?
Oh.
Really wish I hadn't have done that. Now, NASA, in its thoroughness, has a way of handling these types of things, and I love NASA acronyms, by the way. We use something called MAGs. Does anybody know what a MAG is? Maximum Absorbency Garbage. Right. Adult diaper depends. Sure. That's what it is. And you know, again, in NASA's completeness, they don't want you to use something that you've never trained with. So during your training field, they give you one of these mags. This isn't any adult diaper, by the way. This is a $300 government issue.
By the low bidder.
Yeah, so by the low bidder. At $300, I'd love to be the low bidder on that one. So they give you the mags, and they tell you to take it home, go into your bathroom, put it on, then lay on the floor, put your feet up on the tub. And that's kind of the position you're going to be in for launch, right? Try peeing in that position sometime. You know, it's not the easiest thing to do, but that's how they recommend training for it. Well, as it turns out, Marine Corps Colonel, fighter pilot, I'll be darned if I was going to launch into space wearing a doggone adult diaper. So I chose not to do that. So believe me, that clock came around just in time. We got to launch and finally lifted off. Tremendous feeling as you feel those. 30 seconds before liftoff, everything goes on the internal computers. So the humans are out of the loop. And again, you got to remember, at liftoff, we're not really flying the vehicle. We're systems operators. We're monitoring the systems. Computers are doing the flying. So everything is computer controlled. You watch those seconds tick off the clock, totally focused on the instrument panel, what's going to happen. Because again, if something goes wrong, even those final seconds, you may be able to quickly make a switch though that can overcome it. 6.6 seconds before you lift off, you actually ignite the shuttle main engines. That allows the temperatures and pressures to come up to speed. Also allows for an interesting phenomenon because the shuttle engines are not pointed directly down. They're cammed off center line just a bit. So that causes a moment up at the crew level. You actually sway. We call it the twang. You actually sway about 24 inches, and as you come back across top dead center is when those solid rocket boosters ignite, the umbilicals are pulled. You're lifting off a 5 million pound vehicle with 7 million pounds of thrust. And the feeling from inside the cockpit is just this totally awesome amount of power. People said, does it feel like you're cleaving through the atmosphere? It's cleaving? No, it feels like you're bludgeoning your way through the atmosphere. I mean, you've got this big, huge external tank and the big bulbous nose of the shuttle, and you just feel like it's just that raw amount of power, 7 million pounds of thrust. And as the film said, as you clear the tower, you're already going 100 miles per hour. Of course, push back into your seat with 3 Gs, 3 times the force of gravity. And again, you're just along for the ride, watching the instrument panel to make sure that nothing goes wrong. And it's also the most dangerous time of flight because when you're on those solid rocket boosters, they're like Roman candles. You can't do anything about it. Once they ignite, you're going somewhere. You hope it's straight up, but you're going somewhere because you can't do what we call thrust termination, shut them off. So until you get that 2 minutes and 10 seconds go by, I never thought I could hold my breath for 2 minutes and 10 seconds, but it sort of feels like it because you're so glued to the gauges and just waiting for that moment when the solid rocket boosters jettison off the side. Physical explosion because they're blown off of an explosive charge, and you can really see them as they peel away.